You know that warm, aromatic cup of coffee you might be holding right now? Well, think of it as the final stop on a long and often pretty risky journey. For the coffee growers on the islands of Vanuatu, that journey is becoming, well, almost impossible. Today, we're going to explore how a climate crisis is brewing right alongside their amazing coffee beans.
And no, I'm not just talking about the tragedy of running out of beans before you've had your first cup. The actual fundamental ability to grow the coffee we all love is under serious threat from our changing planet. It's this quiet crisis, but believe me, it has huge global consequences. For the farmers on the island of Tanna in Vanuatu, this isn't some far-off headline about the future. Nope, it's their daily reality. It's a struggle for survival that is tied directly to the stability of our global climate. To really get what's at stake here, we need to rewind a bit and look at the history of coffee in this island nation. It's a really powerful story of resilience, collapse, and an incredible rebirth. So coffee isn't new to Vanuatu at all. It actually showed up way back in 1852. But as you can see from this timeline, it has been a rocky road. The entire industry was nearly wiped off the map by coffee leaf rust disease in the early 1900s. It took decades, but through pure grit and the introduction of a new rust-resistant variety, they brought it back. The key thing here is they've faced down a major threat before. And this comeback, it's not just about a drink. We've got to remember, for about 1,000 smallholder farmers and their families on Tanna Island alone, coffee is everything. It's their main source of income. It's the absolute backbone of their local economy. But now, they're facing a new, much sneakier threat. It's one you can't just fight with a new type of plant. This time, the problem is the climate itself. And here's the thing about Arabica coffee. It is incredibly picky. It has this perfect little sweet spot, an annual average temperature between 17 and 24 degrees Celsius. Get too hot, the plant gets stressed. The number of beans drops, and the quality of your morning brew takes a serious hit. For generations, the highlands of Tanna were that perfect sweet spot. Cooler than the coast, just the right amount of rain, it was basically an ideal home for Arabica coffee to thrive. A perfect partnership, you know? Crop and climate working together. Well, that partnership is now being broken. As global temperatures creep up, that perfect 17 to 24 degree zone is being pushed further and further up the mountainsides. So what happens when there's no up left to go? And this right here shows us exactly what's at stake. On the left, you've got the best case scenario for 2050. Even then, you see the green, the good coffee growing land shrinking. Now, look at the right. That's the worst case scenario. The green almost completely vanishes. The land that has supported this crop for decades might just become too hot to handle it. Let that number just sink in for a second. A potential 93% drop in suitable land by 2050. That's not a slow change. That is a near total collapse of the coffee growing climate in Vanuatu. It's a massive threat to an entire industry and a way of life. And as if a slow, steady temperature rise wasn't bad enough, farmers are also getting hit by a whole storm of other, much more violent, climate-related problems. Seriously, it's like a war on multiple fronts. You've got intense tropical cyclones that can just wipe out a farm overnight. You've got extreme rain that waterlogs the soil, rotting the plants from the roots. And then you've got long droughts that can shrivel up whatever's left. With stuff like El Niño and La Niña getting more intense, every single season is a total gamble. And this isn't just theory. This quote tells a real, devastating story. In 2015, Tropical Cyclone Pam leveled 90% of the coffee trees on Tanna. And just last year, in 2023, 2 more cyclones, Judy and Kevin, hit them again. These are knockout blows that take years and years to recover from. Okay, so the picture looks pretty bleak, I get it. But this isn't just a story about disaster. It's also a story of incredible human ingenuity and adaptation. So, faced with all this, is it just game over? Not even close. The farmers on Tanna are not giving up. They are fighting back, and they're using this amazing blend of traditional knowledge and new science to adapt to their new reality. And here's a look at their game plan. They're planting more shade trees, which act like a natural AC for the coffee plants underneath. They're using mulch to keep moisture locked in the soil during dry spells. And crucially, they're diversifying. They're planting other crops, so if one harvest fails, they don't lose absolutely everything. This isn't just sitting back and taking it. This is active, smart resilience. So here's what's so important to understand. While the risks are enormous, the human response is powerful.
The story of Vanuatu coffee is becoming a lesson for the whole world on how you adapt when you're on the front lines of climate change.
And that leaves us with one last really important thought. We've been talking about coffee, but Vanuatu also grows things like cocoa and other vital crops. The same pressures, the heat, the storms, the drought, they're affecting our entire global food system. Coffee is really just the canary in the coal mine here. It really makes you wonder, right? What other things in your kitchen are facing a similar silent crisis?